Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Dr. Najwa Hayaati binti Muhammad Alwi. I am from Faculty of Science Technology and currently holding the post for Deputy Director Innovation, Learning and Teaching in GOAL-ITQAN USIM. So today I would like to share with all of you about blended learning, which is a method of delivering the content, a method of teaching and learning, which is quite common nowadays, and how we can achieve this blended learning. Other than that, we are going also to look at what's beyond blended learning. Okay. So in the content, I'm going to introduce about e-learning. What does it mean by e-learning? Because blended learning come after the introduction of e-learnings. And then after that, we are going to look at the blended learning rubric. And then I'm going to discuss or share with you the environment that we have today, the 21st century learning, the 21st century of character of our learners nowadays. And then we are going to focus on what's beyond blended learning. Okay. First, we look at what is the meaning of e-learning. So e-learning is actually the combination of information and communication technology, also with the learning and teaching. Okay, so the proper definition for e-learning is actually we are utilizing information and communication technology to facilitate the learning and teaching process. So we are using the IT, we are using the information and communication technology and tools to help us to deliver the content, to help us to accelerate the learning process among our students. Okay, so then we, due to some of the issues of e-learning, because we know that when we are using e-learning, means that we are using all the online technologies, the online tools, the online environments. But perhaps at that particular time when we introduce the e-learning to the world, there are some issues such as like infrastructures, the internet connections, the cultural issues, which is in the context of cultural, people won't learn or people are not ready to learn online at that particular time. So after the introduction of e-learning, after some times, we also come to the buzzwords like virtual learning. Then we come to the session where we introduce the blended learning or the hybrid learning due to the previous problem that I mentioned earlier. Okay, this is the learning type that we have. Okay, so traditional learning. Traditional learning is a course with no online technology use, and content is delivered in writing or orally in the class context or more on the face-to-face context. So the proportion of content delivered online is 0%. Okay, then we have a session where we call it as a web facilitated. Okay, so web facilitated is the course that uses web-based technology to facilitate what is essentially a face-to-face course. So may use a course management system or web page to post the syllabus and assignment. So this is what we call the web facilitated. In Malaysia, we are using LMS, the Learning Management System, previously more as a storage. We upload our PowerPoint notes, teaching and learning materials. So in that context, we are using the e-learning system more as a storage, which is incorrect. Okay, so the proportion of content delivered online for the type of course web facilitated is 1 to 29%. Okay, then we come to another type of course, which is blended and hybrid. Okay, so blended means that course that blends online and face-to-face delivery. So the keywords here is the delivery. So how we deliver the content. So we are using the online and also the face-to-face. Okay, substantial proportion of the content is delivered online, typically uses online discussions, and then we reduce the number of face-to-face meeting. So that is the idea of the blended. So we have perhaps half of the classes are conducted online, and then half of the classes are conducted face-to-face. Okay, so the proportion of the content delivered online in this case is 30 to 79%. So in this context, we say it as a blended or hybrid. And then if the proportion of content delivered online more than 80%, so we call it as this is as an online course. So in other words, if we have more online session with the students, so this is an online course. But for today's sharing, I'm going to focus on the blended learning. Okay. Okay. To simplify, I can say that blended learning courses that blends online and face-to-face delivery. Okay. Others definition is technology enhanced learning that is both online and in the classroom as an effective approach to enhance the education. Okay. We are using the technology to support, not to replace, but to support whatever the teaching and learning process. Okay, it is very wrong to say that e-learning or the blended learning is to replace us as the teacher or the lecturers, because in the learning context, we always need a lecturer or at least a facilitator to deliver the content. Okay, but we are using the technology or tools to support the delivery. Okay. So this is the blended learning rubric, which is produced by the Ministry of Higher Education at that particular time. Okay, so we have mentioned that there are 4 components of a blended learning rubric. The first one is the information. The information is more on the information of the course. So normally we will have sort of like a course outline, the synopsis of the course, where you mention what are the objectives of the course, the learning outcome, and also the topics that we are going to cover. Okay, so that kind of information is very important to share with the students, so that the students have the idea what they are going to learn, what they are going to look forward to, and how they are going to be assessed. Okay, so that one is information. The second component is the content resources, all the resources. So this is what we are saying 40% of the whole component of blended learning. So you should always share the content, the resources. The resources is not limited to the PowerPoint slides only. You can always upload the videos, in fact the audios, and also journals that are related to the topic. Okay, the next one, the next component is the assessment. Okay, because in all learning, teaching and learning process, we should always have assessment. So what are the assessment activities that we can do? Okay, so that is 20%, and then the activities to improve or to enhance the learning. So that will be the 35%. Okay. Okay. This is the picture that I share here is to detail out on the category. Okay, the category we have information, content and resources, activities and assessment. So once you complete all of these 4 components, of course we have the numbers, the bilangan item, the numbers for each component, the minimal numbers, to show that this course is a blended. Okay, so if you complete all of these components with the correct minimum number of uploaded content, then we can call that your course is a blended course. So bear in your mind, if you only upload PowerPoint slides, so that is not counted as a blended course. Okay. This blended learning is actually part of the big idea Shift 9, globalized online learning. So we are actually would like to enhance the quality of teaching and learning. So we would like to bring the niche area to the global arena, visibility and positioning and branding, as well as lifelong learning. So how can we do this? Of course, we can do this by using all the technologies and tools that related to the education. So in other words, we can use the education technology. Okay. Okay, so much talking about the blended learning components and also the items. Now we look at on the 21st century situations. Okay, and now this particular time, it is very relevant to use e-learning. to use the blended learning. In fact, to use the proper online learning. Why? Because we are in the 21st century. Okay. So in the 21st century learning, there are some criteria that being exposed already. Okay. The 4 criteria is the items that we have to focus is to know, to act, and to value. Okay. The first component or the first element is to know. So learners should know the core content. At the same time, they have to be digital literate. So this is quite common nowadays. Okay. And then apart from knowing the core content, they also have to understand the cross-discipline. So cross-discipline knowledge, like they have, apart from their own content or their own domain area of studies, they have to understand the entrepreneurships, the religious, the ICT. So this is cross-discipline. And then apart from knowing, they have to act. So what are the things that to show the actions? So they have to connect, collaborate, solve the problems, and also produce the innovative and creative ideas. Okay, last one is to value. We want our 21st century learning is not only up to the part of knowing and acting, but also to value what are the rationals, the cultural competence, the skills needed, for example, like leadership, flexibility, adaptability. So all of these 3 components are very necessary for the 21st century learner. Okay, we have a questions. Okay, Ako Fakhrul from FB Live asking about what is the meaning of cybergogy, pedagogy, and how it can be implemented in blended classes. Okay, thank you, Ako. The questions is relevant to the situation that I'm talking about right now. Cybergogy and pedagogy. Okay, cybergogy means that the pedagogy that you are using, the teaching and learning that conducted or are using the cyber space. Okay, you are learning through the cyberspace where you connect to your friends, your peers, and to the world using the internet connection. So you are learning from the internet. Okay, you download, you surf, you search. Okay, so that is cybergogy. Okay, then pedagogy is about learning peer-to-peers. So in this 21st century learning, you are learning by your friends. You are learning from your friends. Okay, so it is good that the blended learning that we offering at the moment allow you to do the cybergogy and also the pedagogy. Okay. All right. Okay, we move to the 21st century learning. Students use education technology to apply knowledge to new situations, to analyze information, to collaborate, to solve problems, and make decision and achievement. So all of this mentioned is related to the cybergogy, learning through the cyber, where you connect or collaborate using the cyber. Pedagogy also relate to the collaboration with your friends using the cyberspace. Okay. Okay. So at the end, the 21st century skills that we would like to develop from our learners are the communication skills, the collaboration skill, critical thinking, and also creativity. So all of these 4 C's can be done by using the cybergogy, the pedagogy, and another one is the heutagogy. Okay. Okay, this is our future generations. When we say collaborative, what do we mean by collaborative? Collaborative means that allow the students to communicate, to have the confidence to communicate, and then we allow them also to have the self-directed for long life learning. They have the visionary to be the leaders. They are aware and adapt for information managers or information managements. They also can be performers because they adopt and literate. And then they can be the healthy humans. At the same time, they are very flexible. Okay, critical thinkers. This is what we want actually from our future generation. And the most of all is they are a caring global citizens. Why we say that this why we expect a caring global citizen? Because they can understand the situation globally, because they are using the pedagogy concept and also the cybergogy concept. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to share with you about the beyond blended learning. Okay, so we know on how to do the blended learning. Okay, you have to follow the 4 components. Okay, that 4 components. Okay, to achieve the blended learning. Then what's next? Okay, when we already have this component of information, contents are uploaded and ready for the students to be assessed. The activities are ready for the students to do and enhance their understandings and also the assessment. Other than that, we have to think on how to innovate our pedagogy, how to be innovative in teaching and learning. Okay, and then we would like to sustain the focus, the student-centered learning. And then how can we personalize the learning environment? And we also have to bring in the learning style. Learning styles means that, do you know that which styles that your students preferred when they are learning or reading the content? Learning styles, at the moment we have 4 learning styles, that is kinetic, visual, auditory, and also readers lah. Okay, text-based. So by understanding the learning style of our students, we can prepare the correct content for our students. So the impact of preparing the correct content for the students can understand better and they can excel in the course. Okay, and then HOTS, high orders thinking. This is very important in the university levels, because we have to make sure that all the students understand that the university and schools are different. They have to aware that they have to be critical thinkers. They have to be ready for the environments that they are going to go out after they complete their studies. So they have to have a critical thinking. Okay, so how we can do this? For example, innovative pedagogy. We can engage students in productive discussions and create share project, share experience and build on their previous knowledge. Okay. The thing that we can do in the class is we allow the students to discuss, to share their ideas, to be a critical thinker. Okay, so we have to allow these sessions. Okay, another example of innovative pedagogy is the flipped classroom. Flipped classroom is actually you learn before you come to the class. So nowadays we have to prepare, the lecturers have to prepare the content and make the content ready to the student to access prior to our class. So I think we don't have the problem, because we have the e-learning system or the learning management system that allow us to upload the content and make the content ready for the students. So what we have to do is encourage the student to read the content before they come to the class. So this is the flipped classroom. Okay. The successful of the flipped classroom depends on the instructional design that you prepared. Okay, proper instruction given to the students make the flipped classroom successful. Okay, another way is to bring your own device. Let's say we are teaching a class that need us to be in the computer lab. So how can we change the environment, this environment? So you can ask the student to bring their own device, either it's a tablet or a computer or a notebook, and then be somewhere in a proper learning space that allow them to be more flexible, be more santai untuk for them to learn and then share do the discussion with their friends. Okay. Okay. We also can use learning to learn. Okay. This is we have a tools, for example, Quora and ResearchGate. So this is learning to learn, how to learn. Okay. We also have dynamic assessment, which is focused on progress, even event-based learning or project-based learning. We can also use bricolage, or the latest one we can use MOOC, massive open online learning. Okay. Okay, this is example of MOOC. The great things is Malaysian MOOC. We already be part of the MOOC history, where we have Malaysian MOOC. And the best part, USIM also part of it. You can search for USIM MOOC in Open Learning. Okay. Apart from the MOOC, we also have the OER, Open Education Resources. These are all the free resources that we can use, either we as a lecturers or we as a student. So please make use of these free courses. Okay, for example, MOOC, you can search in the MOOC platform any courses that you would like to enroll, you would love to learn, and then you can go through, follow all the activities. The same goes with Open Education Resources. These are the short clips that explain about something. It is a bite-sized video that explains about something. Okay. Alright. Here I would like to share the example of activities. Okay. How can we benefit the blended learning? For example, especially for the online activities. First, you can use the discussion on. You can do the discussion online using Web 2.0. Nowadays, we have so many Web 2.0 tools that you can use, depend on your preferences. Some people will ask me, how do I know which one is suitable for my usage, okay, in the class? But again, you have to remember, technology is for you, for assistant. We have to look at on the pedagogy first, understand what we want to achieve, then we pick which tools and technology that is suitable for us. Okay. Regarding the online class, yes, sometimes due to the other workloads that we have, it is good to have the online class. The online sessions allow students to speak up more, because normally the students, in the face-to-face class, students are a bit shy, timid to speak up. But you will see the difference when we have the online session. Okay. You also can give activities, for example, project work, which is at the end produce the video, because this is what our 21st century learner love to do. They love to be on the social medias, they love to show their creativity. So we should leverage on these preferences by our students to let them produce the video about the content, what they have learned, what they have come across from our courses. This is an example of Padlet. Okay, so in this topic, I asked the students to give the definitions of certain terms, okay, based on their understanding and based on their reading. Surprisingly, everyone is sharing what they have thought, what they have found, which is normally difficult to happen in our normal class. Okay, so after like 10 minutes, the Padlet, the Web 2.0 that we use, are full with all the contents. Okay, and then we should give the instructions to the students to read through and understand. Okay. Okay, we have a question now from Muhammad Faiz Taib. Okay, this fella asked about how USIM academicians accept this blended learning in their teaching and learning process. Okay, thank you, Muhammad Faiz. At the moment, Alhamdulillah, all the academicians, USIM's academicians managed to prepare their course as a blended courses. Okay, we have our target every year, how many courses that we would like, how many courses that we would like to achieve as a blended course. So for this year, 2018, we have reached above the target. We set at least 40% of our courses in USIM will be blended course. So Alhamdulillah, we reached the target, and in fact, we have more than 40% courses already in the status of blended learning. And I can see that many of the lecturers appreciate this kind of blended learning, because it is their process of teaching, and also the students appreciate because it enhance their learning process. The contents are ready, they can do the enhancement activities in the activities that provided by the lecturers, and in fact there are some more Web 2.0 that they can use for collaborations. Okay, so Alhamdulillah, I think for USIM they are adapting very well, and inshallah they will they will prepare more content. Okay. Okay. So this is another example of learning management system. Okay. We have another question from Anas Misbah. Assalamualaikum Doctor. How to choose a suitable web 2.0 for teaching? Okay, I mentioned already about this one. Okay, how to teach? How to choose? Okay, choosing web 2.0 or choosing any technology for our course. Okay, how to choose it? First, we have to know our own learning outcome. What is the objective of that course? What do we want to do for our students? So in that sense, we can pick. So based on what we want to teach, how we are going to conduct our class, then you pick a suitable web 2.0. For example, for language courses, they would like to focus on speaking. Okay, so when you would like to speak, you want to enhance on the speaking, you cannot ask the student to do the Padlet, because the Padlet is more on the writing. So in that sense, Padlet is not suitable for speaking enhancements activities. So you have to find another web 2.0 which is focused on the speaking. Maybe you can use the big blue button that we have in GOALS to allow the students to communicate. So from there you can hear how is the speaking being conducted. Okay. So I hope I answered the questions for Anas just now. Okay. This is another example from the screen. Okay, for one of my topic, where I share with the students the link as well as the online classes, and I allow the students to share, okay, through the Padlet. Okay, my dear fellow friends, please search on the web 2.0, because there are so many web 2.0 that are free and ready to be used, and inshallah it will make our session more lively and more interactive. So with that, I end my session today. I hope you benefit from the session that I have shared, and if you have more questions, please write down the questions in the Facebook Live. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.